CDL Practice Test, California. General Knowledge, Part 15. Question number 355. A vehicle is loaded with most of the weight on the steering axle. What may result? A. Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. B. Better handling. C. Too little traction on the steering axle. The correct answers here. A. Hard steering and possible damage to the tires. Explanation. Keep your load of cargo balanced. You need enough weight on both the steering and drive axles for adequate traction. However, too much weight on the steering axle can result in hard steering and even damage the steering axle. And tires. Too much weight on one side can increase the risk that the cargo will shift. Question number 356. How do you correct a drive wheel acceleration skid? A. Countersteer the steering wheel. B. Apply more power to the wheels. C. Stop accelerating. The correct answers here. C. Stop accelerating. Explanation. To recover from a skid, first stop doing what caused it in the first place. To recover from a drive wheel acceleration skid, first take your foot off the accelerator. To recover from a drive wheel braking skid, stop braking. To recover from a front wheel skid that was caused by driving too fast for current conditions, slow down. Question number 357. The amount of liquid to load into a tank depends on A. The amount the liquid will expand in transit. B. The legal weight limits. C. Both. Two other answers are correct. The correct answers here. C. Both. Two other answers are correct. Explanation. How much liquid you can load into a tank depends on the following. Open bracket. 1. Heat makes liquid expand, so you must allow enough room at the top of the tank for outage. Open bracket. 2. A dense liquid may weigh so much that loading too much liquid into the tank may cause your vehicle to exceed state weight limits. Question number 358. Which of these statements about double clutching and shifting is true? A. Double clutching should not be used when the road is slippery. B. Double clutching should only be used with a heavy load. C. You can use the tachometer to tell you when to shift. The correct answers here. C. You can use the tachometer to tell you when to shift. Explanation. One way to determine when to upshift is with your tachometer. Before driving your vehicle, check the driver's manual to find out the recommended operating RPM range. As you're driving, keep your eye on your tachometer as your vehicle increases speed. Shift up when engine RPM gets to the top of the recommended range. Question number 359. All of the following behaviors are signs of aggressive driving except A. Purposely blocking another vehicle from changing lanes. B. Purposely straddling two lanes of traffic. C. Frequent changes of speed. The correct answers here. C. Frequent changes of speed. Explanation. Aggressive driving is driving in a selfish or pushy manner, which is dangerous enough. Road rage is even worse. Intentionally driving to harm someone or physically assaulting someone in his or her vehicle Examples of aggressive driving include tailgating, purposely straddling two lanes of traffic, purposely blocking another vehicle from changing lanes, and honking the horn to express annoyance, anger, or frustration. Examples of road rage include deliberately ramming another vehicle and exiting one's vehicle to directly confront another driver. However, there are legitimate situations in which a motorist may need to change speeds frequently, such as in heavy traffic or on winding roads. Question number 360. Your vehicle has hydraulic brakes. When traveling on a level road, you press the brake pedal and find that it goes to the floor. Which of these statements is true? A. The parking brake will not work because it is part of the same hydraulic system. B. Pumping the brake may generate enough pressure to stop the vehicle. C. Shifting into neutral may help slow the vehicle. The correct answer is here. B. Pumping the brake may generate enough pressure to stop the vehicle. Explanation. If you lose hydraulic pressure while driving, try pumping the brake pedal to build up enough hydraulic pressure to stop your vehicle. If this fails, downshift to use engine braking and apply the parking brake. Release the parking brake before you lock the wheels. If all else fails, look for an escape route. Head for an escape ramp or an open field and let your vehicle slow to a stop. Question number 361. When driving at night, use your low beams when an oncoming vehicle is within A. 500 feet, B. 300 feet, C. 400 feet. The correct answer is here. A. 500 feet. Explanation. To prevent blinding other drivers at night, dim your headlights to low beams whenever you are within 500 feet of an oncoming vehicle or within 500 feet of a vehicle you are following. Question number 362. Retarders are used by A. Robotics, B. Brake system, C. Exhaust, electrical, hydraulics, and engine. The correct answer is here. C. Exhaust, electrical, hydraulics, and engine. Explanation. There are 4 basic types of retarders: exhaust, engine, hydraulic, and electric. Question number 363. Before transporting a sealed load, you must check that A. The placard numbers match the seal numbers, B. The seal is authentic, C. The load is properly secured. The correct answer is here, C. The load is properly secured. Explanation. You are not responsible for the state of the contents of a sealed container, nor can you inspect those contents. You are only responsible for the safety of the cargo, ensuring that it is balanced, secured, and not overloaded, and does not get in the way of emergency equipment. Question number 364. When backing, why is it important to have a helper? A. There are blind spots you can't see. B. It makes people think you're a better driver. C. It's more fun when you have help. The correct answer is here. A. There are blind spots you can't see. Explanation. If you can, use a helper when backing up, even with all your mirrors, There are still blind spots that you cannot see. The helper can stand near the rear of your vehicle and keep an eye on your blind spots. He or she can signal you to stop before an accident can occur. Question number 365. You are driving a truck with a manual transmission. While driving on an uphill grade, you have to stop the truck on the shoulder. Which of these is a good rule to follow when putting it back in motion up the grade? A. Decelerate smoothly. B. Let the vehicle roll straight backward a few feet before you engage the clutch. C. Keep the clutch slipping while slowly accelerating. The correct answer is here. C. Keep the clutch slipping while slowly accelerating. Explanation. When you start your vehicle, avoid rolling backward or else you may hit someone behind you. Set the parking brake whenever necessary to keep from rolling back. Release the parking brake only when you have applied enough engine power to keep from rolling back. If you have a manual transmission vehicle, partly engage the clutch before you take your right foot off the brake. On a tractor trailer equipped with a trailer brake hand valve, the hand valve can be applied to keep from rolling back. Question number 366. Dry bulk tanks and hanging meat. A. Have low centers of gravity. B. Do not require special care. C. Are unstable loads. The correct answer is here. C. Are unstable loads. Explanation. Dry bulk tanks and hanging meat are two cargoes with high centers of gravity. Plus, hanging meat sways significantly when you're driving on a curve, making for a very unstable load. Question number 367. Which of these is part of the 7-step inspection method? A. Step 1. Vehicle overview. B. Step 6. Check the signal lights. C. Step 5. Do a walk-around inspection. D. All of the answers. The correct answer is here. D. All of the answers. Explanation. The 7-step inspection method includes 1. Vehicle overview. 2. Check engine compartment. 3. Start engine and inspect inside the cab. 4. Turn off engine and check lights. 5. Do walk around inspection. 6. Check signal lights. 7. Start the engine and check. Question number 368. Which of these is a good thing to remember when crossing or entering traffic with a heavy vehicle? A. The best way to cross traffic is to pull the vehicle partway across the road and block one lane, while waiting for the other lane to clear. B. Because heavy vehicles are easy to see, you can count on other drivers to move out of your way or slow down for you. C. Heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic than cars. The correct answer is here. C. Heavy vehicles need larger gaps in traffic than cars. Explanation. Large, heavy vehicles accelerate more slowly than passenger cars, and they are also longer. When driving such a vehicle, you need a much bigger gap to enter traffic than you would if you were driving a car. Question number 369. Which of these tells you that cargo contains hazardous materials? A. A hazardous materials placard is on the vehicle. B. There is a 4-inch, diamond-shaped hazardous materials label on the container. C. Both of these answers are correct. The correct answers here. C. Both of these answers are correct. Explanation. Federal regulations require shippers to warn drivers and others about the nature of the hazardous materials they are shipping. The shipper affixes US.compliant hazmat labels to the packages and supplies the driver with the appropriate placards to attach to his or her vehicle. The shipper also notes the hazardous nature of the materials on the shipping papers. 49 CFR 172.400, 49 CFR 172.407. Question number 370. When the engine is at operating RPMs, the pressure is built up from 80 to 100 C within 45 seconds in a dual system. A. Oil. B. Temp. C. Air. The correct answers here. C. Air. Explanation. When the engine is at operating RPMs, the air pressure should build from 85 to 100 C within 45 seconds in dual air systems. Question number 371. Which of these statements is not true? A. Alcohol goes directly from the stomach to the bloodstream. B. Your blood alcohol level, BAC, is determined by how fast you drink, how much you drink, and how much you weigh. C. A drinker can control how fast his or her body absorbs and gets rid of alcohol. The correct answers here. C. A drinker can control how fast his or her body absorbs and gets rid of alcohol. Explanation. When you drink alcohol, it goes directly from your stomach into the bloodstream. Your body breaks down alcohol at a predictable rate. Typically, this is 1 standard drink per hour, where 1 standard drink equals 1.5 ounces of hard liquor, 5 ounces of wine, or 12 ounces of beer. Neither coffee nor fresh air nor a cold shower can increase that rate. You need to wait until the alcohol has been broken down. Question number 372. Which of the following is an incorrect definition? A. Impaired drivers, drivers who are sleepy, under the influence of drugs, or had too much to drink. B. Distracted driver, drivers whose attention is not on the road. C. Slow drivers, drivers who are unable to drive at a normal speed and are a hazard as a result. D. Confused drivers, drivers who don't understand how to drive a vehicle. The correct answers here. D. Confused drivers, drivers who don't understand how to drive a vehicle. Explanation. Although they are still a hazard, confused drivers will generally know how to drive their vehicle. They may not, however, be aware of the local area or where to go and may hesitate as a result. Question number 373. To correct a drive wheel braking skid, you should A. Keep your foot off the clutch. B. Turn slowly. C. Countersteer. The correct answers here. C. Countersteer. Explanation. To correct a drive wheel braking skid, stop braking so the drive wheels will unlock. However, as your vehicle turns back on course, it may overshoot and start to skid in the opposite direction. Quickly countersteer to counteract this tendency. Question number 374. Name some things you should check on the front of your vehicle during your pre-trip inspection. A. Windshield wipers, mirrors, and hood latches. B. Oil, transmission, air compressor, and radiator. C. Low beams, high beams, four-way flashers, and turn signals. The correct answers here. C. Low beams, high beams, four-way flashers, and turn signals. Explanation. During step 4 and step 5 of the 7-step inspection method, you'll check the various lights at the front of your vehicle to make sure that they're all working properly. Question number 375. Which of the following materials can be used in a Class A, B, C fire extinguisher to put out these types of fires? A. Dry chemical agent. B. Carbon dioxide. C. Water. The correct answers here. A. Dry chemical agent. Explanation. When used properly, multipurpose dry chemical agents can safely extinguish Class A, wood, paper, and other combustibles, fires, Class B, flammable liquids and gases, fires, and Class C, electrical, fires. Carbon dioxide doesn't work well on Class A fires. Water should never be used on Class C fires because it's electrically conductive. Question number 376. Which piece of emergency equipment must be carried in a CMV? A. First aid kit. B. Seatbelt cutter. C. Warning devices. The correct answers here. C. Warning devices. Explanation. Federal regulations require every CMV to carry one of the following warning devices in case the driver must stop the CMV on the road: 3 reflective triangles, 3 liquid burning flares, or 6 fusees. Federal regulations also require every CMV to carry a fire extinguisher. Your state may also require a first aid kit or seatbelt cutter be carried on certain types of CMVs, such as school buses. 49 CFR 393.95. Question number 377. On wet roads, you should reduce your speed by A. 60%, B. 1/3, C. 1/2, D. 1/4. The correct answers here. B. 1/3. Explanation. When a road is wet, stopping distance is increased, and you should reduce your speed by 1/3. On snow, slow to 1/2 your usual speed. On icy roads, slow to a crawl and stop driving as soon as you can do so safely.